Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So this is the feature of today's video. Look at this. Alright? I just want you to have a mental image of how huge this is. Okay? That's prop number one. Prop number two is this plant. It's a tomato plant. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So you guys are probably wondering what this video was about. And for anyone that's a gardener, it might be obvious. But I am not a gardener, but I do have a few plants and I just got into it. And this really large, what looks like a very, very healthy plant is actually a giant weed that was killing the rest of my plant, and it was slowing the growth process of the tomatoes. There are so many ways you can relate this, and so many ways you can take this and have it in your daily life, like how you can connect it. And I actually have another story, and it's about friendship. And so when I had gotten married, I had been and alhamdulillah, as soon as I got married, I didn't wait too long until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me and sprinkled his barakah on my first child, and I was able to have a child. So I was not very experienced, not only as a mom, but I wasn't even experienced that much as a wife when I had my first child. With that being said, I met someone who on the outside, because I was a newlywed, and I was a newlywed and I was a mom. It seemed really, really good because I had a best friend, and this girl, and I had never been popular in school. I'd never really had friends that were close, I'd never had a best friend before, and it was really, I felt like it was like a title. I felt like I finally somebody. And it took me a while for me to really understand that this person really was not the influence that I needed, the influence that I should have surrounded myself with. And, and I will tell you, my husband, he told me, I feel like there's something wrong with this friendship, but I don't want to get involved. And he was looking out for me. But at the end of the day, all I can see was the whole plant. But my husband noticed the weed. And literally, my husband noticed the weed. And the plant, I'm saying literally now. When guests would come over, I would want them to look at the plant and whatever. And then so one day my husband and my mom were looking at the plant, and my husband was like, "But there are no tomatoes coming out of that one." And it's it's growing so much faster and so much taller and stronger than the rest of the plant. And so my mom was like, "Oh my God, yeah," and she yanked it out, mashallah. So and sometimes it's like the people around you, they'll notice, but you will never notice. All you can see is the tomato tree and how tall it's gotten, and you're telling people how proud of you are of it, and subhanallah, it's really hard to point yourself out on something. It's really hard to call yourself out. And I remember that after everything, there was one example, and I will is not valuable, and if you're not going to treat me as a treasure that I think my husband treats me as, like, then I mean, I deserve better. And alhamdulillah, I left that party very, very, very early. I person that I possibly can, and that's that it needs to stop because it's very dangerous and detrimental to the psychological and emotional growth of a person, of a human being. And it can really, really tarnish the way you look at yourself. It can tarnish the way you look at life. But I have to say something that I said in my first video, which I actually uploaded today on bullying, and that is that, and I said this, but I couldn't think of an example at the top of my head, but now this is an example. Bullying is not necessarily all the time intentional, and you don't necessarily have to be a bully to exhibit bully-like behaviors, meaning that I don't think this girl after 15 years is gonna look back and be like, I hate that girl, I wish whatever, I'm glad that whatever, she deserved it. No, I think she's gonna look back and think, I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I wasn't nicer to her. I wish I could have been better. I wish I could have had another chance to just redeem myself. Or at least that's what I want to believe. I don't want to believe that everybody's mean. I don't want to believe that everybody's hurtful. I don't want to believe that everyone's hearts are full of vengeance and ghadab and hatred. I want to believe that people make mistakes, and it's part of human nature to make mistakes. In the same way I have my growing pains, that's probably their growing pains, is that they made these mistakes and they hurt these people, and they're trying to come out of that. We all have our struggles, and we all have things that we're not necessarily proud of. And the people that I looked back on in my past, and at the time they were bullies, present day I don't think they're bullies. I think they made mistakes. I think they made mistakes, and we have to forgive. We have to learn the humility of forgiveness and the humility of to apologize. We have to learn these things. We have to adapt ourselves to these things, because we have another generation coming after us, and that generation is going to have another generation, and the decisions that we make impact those generations, and we can make the world a better place. We actually can do that, and we should. And the way we do that is by being better people, is by bettering ourselves, to uplift one another. Yes, I said that word again, uplift one another, because it's true. Because everything I say, I mean it with 150% truthfulness and 155% sincerity and passion, and I want this message to get across. So if I'm always saying the same theme words, like throughout, like uplift, bullying, whatever, because these are things I need you to understand. I need you to be able to understand that these things should not happen. And as parents, if you have children that go to school, have conversations with them. And if you feel like your child is being bullied, or you feel like your child feels intimidated by someone else, you as a parent should give your child the confidence to know that they are special, that they are gems of the dunya, and remind them, al-mal wal-banuna zinat al-hayat al-dunya, and remind them that they are the zina of their lives, and that at least if you, as parents, what you can do is that you can love your child so much, and you can always give your child positive thoughts and have positivity in your household, so that no matter what is being surrounded by them, no matter what anybody else says, they know in their hearts that it's that person, maybe, that it's not them. And it is about if you look at self-actualization, it's that there's one of the brackets to self-actualize. Before you can self-actualize is safety, and then another one is like a close-knit circle, and like friends and family. And you as parents are that person's family. And if you are nurturing and you're loving and you're caring and you want your child to thrive, you will succeed. And and you'll be able. And I feel like if a child is confident and they know who they are and they know what they're good at and they know their talents, nobody from the outside is going to come and tell them, you're not good at this, you're not good at this. And I'm making this video so nobody makes the mistakes that I made. I already made the mistakes. I don't want you to make them too. So that's why I'm trying to make these videos. With that being said, I ask you that if I made any mistakes, I ask that you forgive me. And if there's anything I said that was offense to you, I ask that you forgive me. And if there's anything I said that benefits you, even if it's just an iota, please hold it in your heart and use it. And I ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide you with the tenderness in your heart. I want you to be tender. I want you to have tenderness. I don't want you to see the world as just grim and evil, even though people have done things to you, or even though you've seen certain things or whatever. Because at the end of the day, look at this. Look at these trees. Look at these trees. We don't live in black smoke. We live in nature. We live in beauty. We live around children. There's so much beauty. And we need to appreciate that and just look at this is just an example. These are just trees, you know. They're miracles, but anyway. That's another video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And with that I will conclude. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي الْخُسْرِ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ.